23rd November 2021 Morning Murli Shanti BapDada Madhuban. Sweet children, you actors have the hero and heroine parts in this drama. No one else has a hero part like yours throughout the whole cycle. Question: who can pass the examination to change from humans into deities? Answer: those who follow the Father and become as pure as the Father can pass this examination. You are receiving the unlimited inheritance for 21 births, so you definitely have to make a little effort. If you don't make effort now, you won't make effort every cycle. In that case, how would you claim a high status? If you became pure, you claim a high status. Otherwise, there will have to be punishment. Shanti. Baba is speaking personally to you sweetest spiritual children. You children understand that the unlimited Father is speaking to you. He is the sweetest of all. A father is sweet and a teacher is also sweet because you receive an inheritance from both. From a guru, you receive the inheritance of devotion. Here, you receive all three from the one. You also have the happiness of sitting personally in front of him. You know that the unlimited Father, who is called the purifier, is the seed of the human world tree. Those seeds are non-living, whereas this one is living. He is called the truth, the living being, and the embodiment of bliss. There is also his praise. He is the ocean of knowledge. However, no one knows what knowledge they receive from him. You know that those who are given this knowledge by the Father then build temples to him and write scriptures, etc. on the path of devotion. Only you know the confluence age of the cycle truly does come every 5,000 years. This is called the spiritual, imperishable, most auspicious confluence age. In fact, there are many elevated human beings, but they became elevated for just one birth. Then they became mediocre and then fall to the lowest level. Look how elevated the beings Lakshmi and Narayan are. They are the most elevated beings. Who made the two of them so elevated? It is remembered that God is the highest on high and he resides up above. The world emperor and empress are the highest on high beings of the human world. They used to rule the kingdom when Bharat was the highest on high. How did they attain the kingdom? No one knows. You should feel that the Father who makes you so elevated is so sweet. You should follow his directions. Look how the highest Father who is making you into the masters of the world is teaching you in such an ordinary way. Only you know the unlimited Father comes in Bharat. People celebrate the birthday of Shiv. He comes and makes Bharat into heaven. You have now remembered you were residents of heaven and you then took 84 births and have now become residents of hell. Baba has come to make you into residents of heaven once again. The Father now says, remember me, and you souls will become Satapradhan from Tamapradhan. No one can return home without becoming Satapradhan. Otherwise, if you don't, there will have to be punishment. It is souls who receive punishment. A soul adopts a body in the jail of a worm and then receives punishment. Babies have to suffer a lot. They cry out in distress. They say, I will not commit sin again. Your children are not going to go into the jail of a worm. There a worm is a palace because there is no sin there. Here, in this kingdom of Ravan, because sin is committed, they ask for the kingdom of Ram. However, they don't know what the kingdom of Ravan is. Since they burn an effigy of Ravan, he should be destroyed. They burn him again and again. So this means he hasn't died. Therefore, what is the benefit of doing all of that? Those people go and loot Lanka. When a particular tree has a yellow parasite growing on it, they consider that to be gold and go and collect it in the south of India. In fact, you are conquering Ravan at this time and becoming the masters of the golden age. In Ajmer, they have made a model of paradise. You now know that Baba has come to make your children into the masters of heaven once again. He will then rule in the palaces studded with diamonds and jewels. Your children are now becoming viceless and satapradhan through the power of yoga. Your souls will become completely viceless and then go to the land of peace. There is nothing of sorrow there. Baba has told you that you have the principal hero and heroine parts in this drama. It is a play about winning and then losing a kingdom. You are the heroes and heroines. Hero means the principal actor. In the golden age, you used to live in a pure household ashram, whereas now in the iron age, it is impure household activity. Baba will now send you to the golden age. There it will be the kingdom of the Sun dynasty, Lakshmi and Narayan. They will take rebirth and become part of the Moon dynasty. The population will continue to increase. There are now so many millions of people. This is why people say that there should be birth control. Those who only have one or two children would not stop having children. You can tell people it is up to the father to reduce the population. The father knows that when there are too many people, they will die. I have come to finish everyone and establish the one relation. There will only be 900,000. This is a magic. It is not. The night of the Iron Age will end and the day will begin. They spend so much money on birth control. The father doesn't have any expenses. There will be natural calamities and everything will finish. This is fixed in the drama. The plans people make are also fixed in the drama. The Yadavas are the residents of the Europe and the Kauravas and Pandavas are the residents of Bharat. The Yadavas are on one side and the other two sets of brothers are on this side. There is brotherhood in Bharat. This brotherhood is that of the Iron Age. You have now moved away from that into the Confluence Age. The Kauravas and the Pandavas came from the same family. Souls are originally brothers. Baba made you souls first. Those who come first in race win a prize. Your race is of remembrance. This is not mentioned in any of the scriptures. The Father says, have yoga with me. This pilgrimage of yoga only takes place at this time. No one else can teach you this pilgrimage. In the golden age, there is neither spiritual yoga nor physical yoga. There is no need for it there. All of this is in your intellects at this time. The act of every second in the drama has been explained to you. This is called the discus of self-realization. In fact, you now became spinners of the discus of self-realization. You have the knowledge of 84 births and the world cycle. The self means the soul. The soul has this knowledge. Therefore, your children have now become spinners of the discus of self-realization. I call you spiritual children, spinners of the discus of self-realization. The decoration of the Brahmin clan, no one knew can understand the meaning of those words. Those ornaments are not given to you because many of you run away. You now have the cycle of 84 births in your intellect. You will now claim number 1. You will first go home and then become Didas. After that, you will become warriors, merchants, and Shudras. This is a matter of understanding. If you were to remember even this much, it would be great fortune for you. There is only a little time left, and we will then go to heaven. They have written many tall stories in the scriptures. They have even written of Krishna, who is loved by everyone, that he was bitten by a snake, and that such and such happened. Krishna is even more loved than Radhe because he played the flute. In fact, that is an aspect of knowledge. At this time, you are gods and goddesses of knowledge. You study and then become prince and princesses. This is your aim and objective. When someone asks you what your aim and objective is, tell him to change from human beings into deities. We were deities and then became Shudras after 84 births. We have now become Brahmins and will then become deities. The one who is teaching us is the ocean of knowledge, the supreme soul, and not Krishna. No one else can teach this Raj Yoga. You see, Baba, we come and claim the fortune of the kingdom from you every cycle. Only you know this. Only through this Mahabharat war are the gates to heaven going to open. Baba comes and teaches Raj Yoga, and so heaven is definitely needed. Hell has to be destroyed. This great war is mentioned in the scriptures. Baba coughed. Who coughed? Was it Shivbaba or Brahma Baba? Brahma. This is the suffering of karma. It will continue until the end, until he becomes complete. Then this body will not remain. Until then, something or other will continue to happen. This is called the suffering of karma. There is no suffering of karma in the golden age. There is no illness, etc. We became ever healthy and ever wealthy. We remain constantly cheerful because we receive the inheritance from the unlimited Father. Then after half the cycle, sorrow begins. In that too, when devotion becomes adulterated, there is more sorrow. It is only then that they call out in distress and destruction take place. Now you are listening personally to Baba. You enjoy it so much. You know that one is your true father, true teacher, and true Sadguru. This praise is only of the one incorporeal Father. He is God, the highest on high. Remember that, Father, and you will claim a high status. That one is not a sage or great soul sitting on a throne. He never ever allows you to bow down at his feet. The Father says, I am your obedient servant. Do I have feet? To whom do you bow your head? Your forehead has been worn out by bowing down to many gurus. Whatever happens on the path of devotion cannot happen on the path of knowledge. On the path of devotion, they say, Oh Ram. The Father says, here you mustn't make any noise. Consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father in silence. You mustn't even say, Oh Shiv. You have to go beyond sound. You children remember the Father internally. The soul knows that this is his Baba. You have to remember him internally in an incognito way. This is called the soundless chant. You mustn't remember him out loud. You can turn the beads of a rosary secretly, means in a small bag, or visibly. It is the same thing. To turn the beads secretly is not an incognito thing. The incognito thing is to consider yourselves to be a soul and to remember the Father. That one is Shivbaba and the other one is Prajapita Brahma. You receive a double engine to decorate you. The soul is also being decorated. You will all go back to your parents' home and from there you will then go to your in-laws' home, the land of Vishnu. This is the double parents' home, the non-worldly one. That is your worldly home and the other is beyond this world, means soul world. No one knows the subtle Father. This is why they ask why you keep a picture of this Dada here. No one knows that the Supreme Soul teaches through this body. Thus one became a worshipper and is at the end of his many births. At the end of his many births, thus one became a worshipper from being worshipped worthy. He has become a beggar from a king. Baba explains, I enter this body. Even then, this doesn't sit in anyone's intellect. They have placed a bull in the temples. However, Shankar is a resident of the subtle region. There are no bulls, etc. in the subtle region. A bull indicates a male. They show Bhagirath, the lucky chariot, to be male. Human beings have become completely senseless. The Father says, Ravan made you senseless. People themselves say, we want the kingdom of Ram. However, the kingdom of Ram exists in the golden age. In the iron age, it is the kingdom of Ravan. Ram and Ravan exist in Bharat. The birthday of Shiv is also celebrated in Bharat. They don't celebrate the birthday of Ravan because he is an enemy. The birthdays of those who give happiness are celebrated. Shivbaba now comes and gives you knowledge and enables you to conquer Ravan. You now know what Ravan is and when he comes. The accurate calculation is shown. Imbibe these things very well. Don't forget them. You have come to the ocean of knowledge as clouds. You have to fill yourselves and then go and rain. You need to imbibe this very well. You are sitting here personally in front of Baba. You feel that you are sitting at home in front of the unlimited Father. You are the decoration of the Brahmin clan. Mama and Baba are also here. Baba is teaching us as our teacher. Then as the Sadguru, he will take us back with him. Those gurus don't take anyone with them. It is the duty of a guru to take his followers with him. In fact, they are not even followers. They are sannyasis. The others are householders. So how could they be followers? You follow Shivbaba and also Brahma Baba. Just as this one is becoming this, so you too became the same. We souls will become pure and go to Baba. Baba says constantly, remember me alone. You are true followers. The Father says, I have come to take you back with me. Now sit on the pyre of knowledge and I will take you back with me. There was the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan in the golden age. At that time, those of all other religions were in the land of peace. Thus things are very easy to understand. Become Baba's followers. The purer you become, the better the status you will attain. Otherwise, there will have to be punishment. You definitely do have to return home. You are receiving the inheritance for 21 births, and so why should you not make effort? If you don't make effort now, you won't make it for cycle after cycle. Then how could you claim a high status? This is a big unlimited class. There is just the one examination to change from human beings into deities. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, become true followers of the one father and become completely pure. Make effort to claim the inheritance for 21 births. Second point, your mouth mustn't even say, "Oh, shivbaba." Go beyond sound. Consider yourselves to be a soul and remember the Father internally. Blessing. May you follow every order, whether physical or subtle, and become completely obedient to the Father. Explanation. The children who are obedient in following subtle order develop the power to follow the physical order. The subtle and main order is constantly stay in the remembrance and become pure in your thoughts, words and deeds. Let there not be any impurity or uncleanliness in your thoughts. If your old, impure sanskars touch your thoughts, you cannot be called perfect Vaishnavas or completely pure. So, do not have a single thought without following the orders. You would then be called one who is completely obedient. Blessing. To know the Father and to say Baba from your heart is the biggest speciality. Om Shanti.